Well, here we are, apparently. Something, law of attraction-ish on a Wednesday at noon Pacific, right here on Facebook. You know how we roll, don't you? I hope you do. Here's what's happening as I stare over here on this other screen. I'm refreshing my Facebook Live feed. Feed. If I were a horse, I'd be salivating right now. All right, well, here we are. Let me scooch over a little bit. There we go. Oh, look, it's me talking. And Jerry's here saying hello, Bob, just like a good Jerry should. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've said, my name is Bob Doyle, and every Wednesday right here on this page, the Boundless Living Law of Attraction resource pages. No, I'm sorry, it says Bob Doyle Law of Attraction. I just bypassed the company name completely and just go straight for my name. I guess that's just where I am in my career. I need name recognition. I don't know. Jerry, where is everybody? How come it's just me and you? All right, so here's how we roll. First of all, we're in a new location. Let's take another quick look at it here. Oh, isn't it lovely out here? Hopefully the sound of the waterfall isn't too distracting. Yeah, Jerry, everyone should be in here right now. There's Charlotte, and she even acknowledged Jerry. So see what a community we are. Hold on, let's take a look. And Doug. Hello, Doug and Michelle. All right, says Live 10. Oh, I know they're here. They're just not saying hello. That's an important part of this. This is what I'm about to share with you is so ridiculous that I'm sharing this with you. But if you watch this broadcast on a regular basis, or if you watch the Bob Doyle Show, you'll know how happy I am that I can do this and this and this. And look, my hand doesn't vanish into the ether. I have the whole space. I know. You're like, well, I've got to write my relatives right now and let them know about this because this is huge. It is. You know what? I have another conundrum. Oh, am I drinking out of a Bob Doyle Show mug with a URL on it? Of course I am. I always do. And this is, I think, fourth cup of coffee today. And when I have a cup of coffee, it's like 2 cups of coffee. This is a 15-ounce mug, as it should be. All that to say, I've got some caffeine going. I hope that's okay with you. But that's how it always is. So if you show up here at all, this should be no surprise. Well, thank you, Regina. If I was familiar with your sense of humor, I bet you I would like it too. That's just a guess. I could be wrong. But I'm going to say maybe. So look, what we do here, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't know if it's different. First of all, I have a couple of announcements, I suppose, besides the fact that I can reach out of the screen and my hand doesn't vanish. Things I want to talk about. And, this is about answering your law of attraction related questions. So if you've got them, ask them, because that's why we're here. Well, you could be here just to hang out, which is fine too. I like hanging out. It's a good hour that we get to hang out. Later today, I get to hang out with some of my voiceover coaching clients. We do our live class this afternoon, so I'm excited about that. And this last weekend, some of you may know that I was in San Diego speaking at Christy Whitman's QSCA event. And I was one of many speakers there, and I was actually talking about live streaming. I wasn't even talking about law of attraction, which was fun to just get out there and talk about doing this and how important it was to do this. Because I truly do believe that from a law of attraction point of view, clearly it's about getting yourself out there, sharing yourself authentically with the world. We talk about it all the time here, not necessarily live streaming, but following your passions, doing what you want to do. And so many of us have a message to get out, and that's why I'm so excited about live streaming, that anybody can just pick up their phone and potentially broadcast to the world. Now, of course, you got to build your audience and do all that stuff. But, you can get the message out there and create content. Anyway, I was talking to them about that, and I challenged them, and there were about 150 of them. If you saw I did a brief broadcast from the stage there before I lost my connection. The enthusiasm was amazing. All I had to do was say, here we are, and then they all just erupted into applause. I wish that was the case with every broadcast I did. Oh, well, I didn't. That is, I wasn't. I totally was, and I did. I pushed the button. I have to create my own applause because you guys don't. You just don't clap loudly enough. Anyway, so eventually I will start talking about law of attraction and answering questions. But one of the other things, what I said I wanted to do that was a little bit different. You know how in Facebook you got your messages, and then you've got this whole other hidden inbox, which now they call filtered requests or something. And it's all those emails from people that aren't on your friends list or whatever, so they don't show up in your regular messages folder, and they just kind of get lost. And so every now and then I go check that folder and go, holy moly, there's a lot of questions here. Oh my God, coffee is right. Not just any coffee. What kind of coffee is it? Can anybody take a guess? I would be so amazed if anybody knew. That would mean that you've watched enough of my broadcast to actually know what my favorite coffee is, and that would be amazing. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to figure that out. So announcements. How about some of these? No, not Kona. I've never mentioned Kona. But what I have mentioned 8 zillion times is my love and passion for Starbucks mocha coffee. Starbucks. Who would have thought that I went establishment? Even though, there was a time when Starbucks was cool because it wasn't establishment, I think. But now it's like establishment. Now people are always going, well, I'm not going to go to that Starbucks place. I'm going to go to this cool indie little coffee shop. But it used to be, well, I'm not going to go to Dunkin' Donuts to get coffee. I'm going to go to this cool new Starbucks. They have Wi-Fi and stuff. And now it's like everybody's all $4 for a cup of coffee. Oh, Starbucks. People are so fickle, aren't they? Aren't they? Are you one of them? Did you used to like Starbucks and now you kind of poo-poo it because everybody else says, come on, don't be a sheep. The reason I don't go to Starbucks that much anymore is, quite frankly, I don't know. The coffee just isn't doing it for me like it used to. And I make so much of my own coffee anyway. But having said all of that, their chocolate coffee, their mocha coffee is worth purchase, along with their vanilla and their cinnamon dolce. All of their flavored coffees are really good. Okay. It's all about the Wi-Fi. Speaking of Wi-Fi, dadgummit, I forgot to plug in the cable again, so I'm going Wi-Fi here, and I like to be directly connected when I do these broadcasts, but hopefully it's okay, and, we're all here. You live in Kona? Wow. And you still go to Starbucks. Well, awesome. Okay. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to have to open it up in another window so it doesn't appear in front of your incredible comments. So let me just do that real quick. So I thought what I'd do is go... Why am I on caps lock? What I thought I'd do is go to that page where all those mystery questions are and address some of them because they actually are very common questions. Some of them I've addressed 8 million times here on this broadcast. And so what I'm generally doing when I get these questions is say, check out the broadcast, check out the broadcast. So let me just go to messages real quick, and then I'm going to go to the filtered ones, I suppose. Well, filtered and just in general questions that are kind of hidden from me. So let me see. Now I've got too many things. You like the waterfall? Well, that's good. Sometimes I get complaints. And I've tried to have the volume setting. Can you hear the water at all? I have it on, but a lot of times people don't. You'd rather go to a you don't drink coffee, Tammy? You love the backdrop. Hooray! Dawn loves the backdrop. People are loving the backdrop, so maybe I'll hang out at Waterfall Land for a while. Look how beautiful it is. You know what? I really miss the rain so much, and it never rains here in Southern California. They should write a song about it to remind everybody. But I am like jonesing for some rain, big time. I want that smell in the air. I want some thunder and lightning to get that negative ions. I want the sound. I want the smell. I want the cooler temperature. I miss the rain. It hasn't rained here in a long time. I mean, I knew what I was getting into when I moved out here. All right, now we have a question. What would be a simple formula to use the LOA in creating an income stream while enjoying the process as the best part? Well, you answered your own question, Doug. Enjoying the process, doing what you love to do. Look, here's the thing about this whole money issue and using the LOA to do it. If you've been watching lately, you notice you'll know that my attention has shifted a lot from techniques and things like that to what the most important thing is. And the most important thing is that you love your life, right? And that implies that you'll have abundance, that you'll have all the things that you're trying to attract with the law of attraction. So getting clear on that. So enjoying doing what you love to do is the process to getting what you want. That's the deal. As long as you're not sitting there telling yourself why doing what you want to do isn't going to be the way to get there, or letting your ego tell you that. So your process is to move to the, I know, Sarah, I've heard that. Or I could move up to Washington and get some rain too. There's plenty of places around here. But the Marina, Lynn, Cody, they're all keeping me here. Catch a can. That's a fun thing to say. So the simple formula, Doug, is really just getting clear on what your vision is and what role doing what you love to do plays in that vision. So if I was really going to give you detailed answers, I'd have to talk to you a little bit, and I would ask a question, something like, well, what do you enjoy doing? What do you really want to be doing with your life? What do you feel like your purpose is here? And then sort of help you to create a vision around you doing that while generating income. Now, I know there's lots of questions that the ego asks. Yeah, but what about this? 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 It's fine. We can work through all of that because the ego will do that. Silly ego. Always trying to keep you down. It's really trying to protect you, but I'm not a big fan of its ways. Are you? But creating an income stream. So look at all the things that you love to do. How would you like to be? Like ideally, what would you love to be doing to create an income stream? And then look out in the world and see, are people doing that? And if they are, then you know that it's possible. And then it's just a matter of you committing to learning learning to do whatever it is that you want to do. This is a stage that I'm in right now. So part of the sort of announcement, I've been talking about it, and it's still not the official announcement because I've got some things I got to figure out myself on this. But Boundless Living as a company is going to be moving away from focusing all of our efforts on teaching the law of attraction. All of our programs and stuff will still be out there. You can still get them. Still avail yourself of the education, which I still think is, of course, incredibly important. And I still will be doing these broadcasts to stay in this law of attraction conversation. But Boundless Living is going into virtual reality, which, as I've said many times, is, I think, a very logical follow-up to the law of attraction focused stuff. Again, not throwing away anything that I've ever done, adding to it and creating on top of it. So all of the stuff we've been doing, all the education programs we have, everything that you can learn from me in terms of in this capacity at these things, they're all setting a foundation for for the direction we want to go with virtual reality. But what do I know about the virtual reality business? Zero. I'm starting completely from scratch. So I'm learning the technology. I'm deciding whether or not I want to become a programmer. Do I want to learn a whole new skill set, or do I want to hire the team? Actually, I have to find a team. I can't do it all on my own. But anyway, so that's that income stream that will be my whole business, virtual reality. I have to start from right now. I don't know. But I am clear on my vision. I know what it wants to look like, and I'm playing with that vision, and I'm constantly creating it. Like, what does Boundless Living really want to do? What do I really want to do in the virtual reality space? Right now, I'm clear it's the direction I want to go. And again, I'm saying this all for you, for all of your own context, not just telling you what I'm up to. This is an example of I'm going to create not just an income stream. Well, yes, it will be one of many income streams, taking my business into the virtual reality space. So I just keep my eye on that vision and have fun with it. Enjoy the process of learning what I need to do until I've created a whole new business. It is exciting. Yes, all of that, Regina and Sarah. How do you get your subconscious to catch up with the conscious? Why do you want to do that? Give me an example of how you'd like your subconscious to catch up with the conscious. Just so I have the context for the question, because that could mean several different things. All right, so let me address one of the common things that I get in these backdoor sort of messages, And that is this a request from people. This isn't really a question per se, but it's a request from people who want to just talk to me. Can I just have an hour of your time? Can I just have 15 minutes of your time? Can I just have, and I get all that. And I hear you and I feel you. But I get so many of those, I can't possibly do that. I can't possibly do all the things I need to do, and somebody asked me for 2 hours of Skype time just to kind of have a conversation. And I'm sure it would be great and rich and wonderful, but that's 2 hours. My billable time is, even with voiceover, is around $500 an hour. If I'm not working, I'm not doing anything, And so, of course, sometimes I have conversations that I don't charge for. It's not, I don't want you to think that, well, if you want to talk to Bob, you got to pay him. But the thing is, asking for an hour or 2 hours, that's, And then a lot of people I just think if I could just explain it to you, then you could help. Yes, but I can't do that for everybody. And that's just how it is. So I'm really super, super sorry about that. But I do have coaches. You can go to the Boundless Living coaching page here on Facebook and ask law of attraction related questions. Now, if you want to talk to me about, I don't know, coming to speak or a business opportunity or whatever, well, that's a little bit different because it is a business opportunity. So, of course, I have to make the time to talk about that. And please, let me just make very clear, by business opportunity, I do not mean your network marketing company. As great as it is. Hello, Jory. Good to see you here. Honestly, what I'm really interested in now in terms of this space, law of attraction space, is coming to speak. I don't speak to sell stuff at the back of the room. I speak as a speaker to be paid a speaking fee. But these are just things, these are lines I'm drawing in the sand. Because I'm not attached to speaking, but I love to do it. I had such a great time speaking on Christie's stage. But the whole model of going to speak and not get paid just so you can sell at the end of the room doesn't work for me. Not going to do it ever again, so don't ask. And I really don't do teleseminar summits anymore either. Look, and it's all for kind of the same reason. So the point is, though, that my focus is in another direction, and I'm honoring that pull, and that is got a shaky connection. It's giving me a red light, orange light. Am I still there? Oh, I should have plugged in. I wonder if I still can. Oh, now I have no connection. You guys seeing me? Because it's telling me that I'm not broadcasting. Please don't go away. What is going on? I need to know if I'm broadcasting or not, because it looks like I'm not. I got a big red line through my broadcasting thing, so I have got to figure out. You can see me. Everything's fine. All right, weird. I don't know why it's saying that it's not happening, but all right, I'll continue on and hope this goes away. But I've got to remember to plug that thing in. All right, so there's that about talking to me. Here's the other thing that I get constantly all the time, even though I address it. Hold on. You don't want to be seeing the infinity. Thank you, Holly, for the confirmation. But it definitely doesn't look like I'm broadcasting. Cutting in and out a bit. All right, here's what I'm going to do. And you're just going to get to watch the waterfall for a second. I'm going to turn this off. I'm actually going to get up, and I'm going to go plug this cable in and hope that it doesn't destroy our connection and hope that it only edifies it. This is risky. I've never done it before. If it doesn't work, we get disconnected, I'll come right back on. But, I can't have this red slash and interrupted stuff. Don't like wobbly. I like professional and good. After all, we've got this wonderful location, and I can reach out of both sides of the screen. I got to do this right. So just give me 1 second, and you can just enjoy the waterfall for a moment. Alrighty. Well, I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm going for it. I have plugged in, but I still have the red line. But hopefully, I don't know. I don't even know what to do about that. I'm afraid if I click that, I will definitely stop broadcasting. Let's just pretend like everything's cool, shall we? So here's the other thing. And please tell me if I am still broadcasting. That'd be great. because now that I plugged in and I still got the red line, I don't know what's happening. So somebody tell me. Anyway, I'll just pretend that I am until I'm told otherwise. Okay, so the other thing that I'm getting another I am broadcasting from Dawn. Thank you, Dawn. All right. The other thing I keep getting the question on all the time, no matter how much I beat it into the ground. Help me get my girlfriend back. Help me get my boyfriend back. How can I make them love me again? Please. Oh, I just want to cry when I hear that question. It's because I keep being told the same thing. We had it great, it was perfect, and then they just left me. And thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Jory. Thank you, Mirtha? Is it Mirtha? Xavier, thank you all. Okay, well, I'm going to ignore this. We're all good then. Thank you. Boy, but that's a heck of a delay. Heck of a delay. I asked that question a long time ago. All right. You know, everything was great, and then, you know, they left me, and now they won't return my call. Whatever the situation is, the whole get back that person. Guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, I understand what it's like to love someone who, for whatever reason, doesn't love you back, or their feelings change, or whatever. We're all on this planet for our own paths. We must be able to evolve. This is why quite frankly, I have issues with marriage. Shocker. And I'm not saying I'm anti-marriage, so everybody just calm down. But I am saying that it is not for everybody, and in some cases, it's monogamy, I suppose. Let me write this. Let me figure out the best way to say this. The idea that relationships have to last forever is kind of a little crazy. Life is too dynamic. We're too dynamic. We're always evolving. We can change directions in our life on a dime. We can have an experience that changes our perception and our perspective on everything. We can learn about something we never learned before and be awoken to a whole new opportunity for ourselves. And that may or may not jive with the person that we have been with up to this point. Feelings change. New people come in and out of our lives. It is not necessarily appropriate to have dibs on one person for the rest of your life in the way that you want. If you are in a relationship and the person that you're with no longer wants to be in the relationship, why? Why do you want to keep them in the relationship? Why would you want to convince somebody to come back to you, to give you and the relationship another chance? Do you know how disempowering that is for you? Do you know what it says about how you feel about yourself? When you feel like that person is your only opportunity for happiness and love, you are negating billions of other possibilities on the planet. Because why? You have to look at why. Because what? You never feel like you'll reach that again? Is it because you don't feel like you deserve it? Do you feel like you lucked into it and you'll never get that opportunity again? Because if that is your mindset, I guarantee you that is what will happen. That is going to be your experience. When you lock onto it must be this person and you just close out every other possibility, the relationships you'll miss, the opportunities for growth you'll miss, the happiness. Anybody with me here on this one? It's normal to grieve when a relationship ends for a while. But then it's time to move on. Create a new vision. Now I'm green again, not red, so hooray. You know, continue your life journey and don't get stuck here, because look, I know from experience what can happen to a person when you basically retard your own emotional growth because you get stuck on one person and trying to make that work. It is not bottom line, guys, it's simply not appropriate, nor is it going to work to try to use the law of attraction to get somebody to change their feelings about you. Would you want that? Would you want somebody to invoke supernatural forces to make you do something or feel something that you don't genuinely feel, that isn't a part of who you are? I freaking hope not. Okay, so I got a really long question here through a personal message. And so you have to keep in mind, guys, that when you send me a personal message, it shows up. Like my shoulder was blocking it. So you have to be careful about sending me messages that would be personal or private while we're doing this, because they'll pop up on the screen and everybody will read it. You lost the feed, did you, Holly? Well, I'm back now, I hope. Hope everything's good now. Oh, that's way too much coffee. All right. So please, you guys. I've got a video out there. I think, let me see if I can, I think this is it. It's so old. I mean, this link is so old. It's a bit.ly link. That's how old it is. Bit.ly specific person. Am I writing that correctly? We're going to find out here when it shows up. Yep, that's it. That thing, that's like a whole... Who is that guy? Look at that face. Now, pretty soon, I will be bespectacled again. This, I think, actually is the last week you will see me without glasses. I should be getting my new ones today, tomorrow, whatever. Very excited about that because they are so needed. It's redonkulous. But I will be wearing glasses again every time I do a broadcast so I can read your messages. And that's how I'll be, So get ready for a new look, a new Bob Doyle look coming at you. Maybe as early as this Friday for the Bob Doyle Show. All right, let's move on. Let me just, obviously I'm not really... Okay, here's another one I get. And a lot of these questions come from India. They're India students. And I have gotten this exact question over the years. Same exact scenario. Medical students needing to pass these exams so that they can, okay? So it's all about, how do I use the law of attraction to pass exams? Okay, so this is one of those things where I would ask the person to, this is a tough one, because this is where a person is clearly tied into and attached to, I must do this to get this. I must do this to get this. And of course, all the evidence points to that. Their teachers, society, the schools will say, if you want to be a doctor, you got to pass this exam. And I get all of that. But you get so focused on this exam and, oh no, what if I don't? What if I don't? Then think about what you're filling your space with. Your vision, just like in any other situation, needs to be on what is the end result, which is being a doctor. But why do you want to be a doctor? What are you going to do in the world as a doctor? Why must you be a doctor? And now let me tell you something. If your reasoning for being a doctor is because my parents made me be a doctor, or that's just what you do here, it's going to be a lot tougher to use the law of attraction to get anywhere with this if you're on any level resisting it. Now, if you truly want to become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever else you have to pass these exams for, you got to really be clear on what's really driving you to that goal. Because here's what happens. When you're clear on that, when you get that why must I do that, all of this other stuff like this studying that you'll have to do to pass a test, because look, it's not magic. It's like you don't go in there with a vision of passing a test and just don't study and hope that the answers just fall out of your brain onto the paper. It doesn't work that way. What drives you and your actions is your commitment to your vision. The universe will support you in you taking the action you need to take in order to get to that vision. In this case, studying productively for an exam. Now I'm getting the red thing again, and I am plugged in, so I don't know what the heck is happening. All right, hold on. Sorry, I lost track of your messages because I was reading this other one. Oh, I see. No one said anything new. All right, I guess you're just mesmerized again because all of you are students. Take action. That's right, Xavier. You take action. But the thing, I mean, look, so there's no trick I'm going to give you to pass an exam. Passing an exam comes from learning the material and getting it into your head. What gets it into your head, what has you take that action and has your mind in the receptive state so that you will, retain it and be able to use it, is all in you being in alignment with that doctor or whomever that is going to change the world for all the reasons that you are very clear are the reasons. It's not magic, although it can occur that way. Here is another question, and it goes something like this. Hold on. I know. Okay, so this is a question about people bringing up the other laws of the universe, right? So-and-so says there's 7 laws. So-and-so says there's 12 laws. Is the law of attraction the only one that matters? What about this and that and the other thing? It's making me question all of that. So when I talk about the law of attraction, so there's the way that most people understand the law of attraction, like it is this little thing, it's this little trick that you do to attract stuff. Okay, that's not how I look at it. The whole like attracts like and, treating it like it's a little tool or a toy or whatever, or a magic wand. I don't look at it that way. I look at the law of attraction as, so we live in a universe that is 100% energy, right? Energetic universe. And that energy follows certain laws to be able to basically hold itself together, to be the universe. And we are also clusters of energy. We're a part of that whole cluster of energy. It's not like it's the universe and us. We're the whole thing, right? We're all part of it. And the law of attraction, the way that I look at it, is about how energy comes together to form, from a human being's point of view, our experience of reality. So it is, to me, the most important. It's the whole. It brings in the whole law of vibration and resonance and all of that stuff. So it probably collapses a lot of the laws that people are always talking about, the other universal laws. You can hear about the law of duality and polarity and all of those other things, and that's fine. But guys, you don't have to freaking confuse yourself so much. The law of attraction by itself can be confusing enough, and that's why I'm really trying to say to everybody, it's good to have an understanding of it if you're really stuck and you don't get the science of it and you're resisting it because you don't understand it. That's fine. But you don't have to be a freaking quantum physicist, and you don't have to understand every spiritual law in order to have the life you want. You just need to know what life you want. And stop with the nonsense of thinking that you can't have it or that it's limiting or all those other things that we've been programmed to think, all the limitation. Hey, Natty. Natty, you're a little late, I must say. Normally you're right there. Wait a minute. Tammy says scroll down. Well, if I scroll down, I just get previous broadcasts and things because I can only see 4. By the way, in the description up here, as you'll see, we've still got all the links, although it's not formatted correctly. Still got all the links to getting notified when we go live here. I have got it set up still so that we are sending email out every time we go live, and we do our push notifications and the whole thing. So there's lots of ways to be notified when we do this. So if there's no other questions, let me switch. Let me go on to another one. I'm just kind of picking some at random. Some are just very nice little comments. Hugs. I get lots of hugs, and you guys can send hugs whenever you want. Yeah, so here's another woman who's always pushing people away. They know what they want from a relationship, and yet they're pushing, in this case, the men away. And they want to stop this cycle of pushing men away. Okay, well, clearly that's not something I can say. I can read that question and go, well, here's how you're doing it. Here's why. I would have to find out, what's your history of relationships? What are your beliefs around men in general, about how worthy you are, deserving you are of a great relationship? What is your history with relationships, observing relationships? Have you learned some danger associated with relationships, which is why most people would push away? They want it, but they've been hurt. And so their ego, in order to stop them from getting hurt, does some sort of little subtle thing that pushes away the person who is coming into their lives to fill whatever it is that they want to fill. Let's please not let it be a void. If you're looking for a relationship to fill a void, you are doomed. People cannot fill your void. And let's not go down dark places here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a family show. What I'm saying is that if you feel empty in an area in your life and are looking for a relationship, that guy who went away or that woman who went away or whatever, to fill that void, you will be sorely disappointed. Not only that, if you bring emptiness, an empty feeling into a relationship, trust me, number one, you're not going to get filled by the other person. And if you get the illusion that you are filled by the other person, then you become dependent on that person, and then you feel like if they leave, you're lost. Who am I without them? And that being in you is enough to push them away. It's one of those resistance, invisible energy things. If you felt like you were solely responsible for the emotional happiness of another person, that's a lot of responsibility, and it's not a very fun responsibility. And you don't want to be the person who needs another person in order to feel happy. You're welcome, Paul. Tammy says, can someone else envy and negatively detour, hold, prevent what you are trying to attract? Only if you let them. Look, if you, so you want to attract something in your life and somebody else is, if you think they're doing some sort of voodoo or whatever, some sort of energy thing to keep you from doing it, no, I don't buy that. However, I will say that if you are swayed emotionally / energetically by a negative thing that another person is doing, and you let it enter into your consciousness / vibration, then it can impact you. If a person is truly trying to stop you from getting what you want, trust me, they're living in a very low vibration, and their power isn't nearly what you think unless you give it to them. It is only a very disempowered, disconnected person who would wish that you cannot have what you truly desire in your life. So don't let that person or those people, no matter who they are, in your life, stop you or have you second guess what you're truly passionate about, because you're the only one qualified to know truly. All right, Charlotte says, if there are 4 parallel worlds and I aim to be a positive one by raising my vibration, are my friends and family with me there, or do they need to know about the LOA? I don't think anybody needs to know about the law of attraction. People will make their own choices about how to feel based on whatever is up for them. Now look, if you're a positive person, you can certainly hold the visions, hold the intention that your family go along for the ride, and try very hard not to make assumptions that they won't, or that they need to be told something or whatever, or that they need to understand something in order to come along for the ride, because then that's what will probably occur as true for you, and that's how you'll see it. Like, they aren't getting it. I need to explain the law of attraction to them. Probably not. Now, if they come begging, please explain this law of attraction so we can follow you on your journey, absolutely. Most people don't like that, though. Robin, you loved me at the QSB. That's nice of you to say. I had such a great time there. Were you actually, I have to click your picture. There were so many people there to see if you were there or whether you watched the live stream. But anyway, I thank you for being there. And I hope that you, Robin, will take on a live broadcast going Facebook Live. A handful of people did that day. I did issue the challenge, and nobody said they wouldn't do it, and several people did go live. And they seemed to really benefit from the experience. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got in the grab bag of old messages, which I can barely read. And I'm just having to kind of click through them. Some of them are just saying hello and hola and other languages. Yeah. Hold on. Now see, here's another one. This is a tough one, and I don't even know what I'm going to say by the end of this sentence. Because it really, the implications are probably bigger than I can address in a broadcast like this. But sometimes I get questions from people who are in situations that truly seem to be out of their control. In other words, like, for example, they live in another country. Like, here's a great example. I think it was Guatemala. I'm trying to remember. But I met somebody over the weekend who can't broadcasts, so we were talking about Facebook Live and stuff, they can't go live because of security reasons. They can't do that thing they want to do because it's basically against the law. What do you do in a situation like that? The thing is that when I get that kind of a question, it's a question that I can't give a specific answer to because, number one, I don't know about international law and all of those things, but I do know that the one thing that can change that for you is a commitment on your part to change that situation, whether it's moving out of the country or doing whatever you have to do. It might be something super radical that you don't even know how you would do yet. But if there's something in your life that you truly, truly want to do and you can't do it where you are, well, then clearly you've got to figure out a way to get somewhere else. Get somewhere else or change things where you are. And I know it's not easy and you don't know how or whatever. But it starts with the vision, and it starts with putting it out there, not just wishing that you could and not lamenting that you can't, but seeing it happen in your mind, regardless of how freaking impossible it may seem. And again, you're not going to be able to probably figure it out because in your mind, you can't do it. It's the law. That's the end of it. So as far as your ego knows, it's freaking impossible. It's not going to happen. So you have to bypass all of that and just have the vision of it happening and then see what comes up for you. See what opportunities come your way. See what ideas you have. Nothing's impossible. Challenging? A long journey? Possibly. And in some cases, probably. And I can tell you, though, that you're here on this planet where you are with the visions and the passions that you have for a reason. It's not for you to be frustrated. Let's say that you're in one of those really tricky, almost impossible situations. And yet somehow, like others have, countless others in the world have moved through similar impossible situations and accomplished great things. Did they take amazingly huge risks? Yes. Did they make amazingly huge sacrifices? Probably. But then they reached their vision and they reached their goal and they did it, and they can then inspire countless thousands/millions who also believe that things are impossible for them. But, to answer that in a Facebook message from somebody who's feeling desperate can sometimes seem to fall short. But unfortunately, that is the reality of it. There's nothing I'm going to say in a Facebook response that is going to be the answer to how you get out of your situation that is limited by circumstances over which I have no control and over which you have no control. So we have to sort of tap into and invoke a much higher power that we were all born with. And yet, certainly some of us are in situations where it's going to be a lot easier to get things done than in others. Here in the United States, we might have all sorts of opportunities that you don't have in a third world country, even though you and I may have the same vision. So that's just kind of the luck of the draw and where we are on our energetic paths as entities in the universe. So what are you going to do with the situation that you've been given? How can you maximize it? How can you honor who you are, given what is for you right now? What you can't do and expect to change is to complain about it or keep telling yourself how impossible it is or resigning yourself to that, because then, of course, you will never change your situation. And look, this doesn't just necessarily apply to people in other countries who want to do things that are against the law or whatever. I'm talking about whatever you think is impossible. No, but my circumstances are different. I'll never get through this because da-da-da-da-da. And you've just sealed your fate by convincing yourself and giving yourself all this proof that you can't have what you want. All right. Well, no one's responded since Paul. And before that, it was Tammy with the whole envy and negativity detour. Did I lose you all? I'm getting that red slash line again, so I don't know if I'm broadcasting or not, but I just don't understand what's going on. All right, let me see if I can find another couple of these, and then we'll just go back strictly to your questions. And if you're out of questions, then I will We'll just end it. The other thing, and by the way, if you like I have, if you send me a message and you just say hello, I might say hello back or whatever, but it would be much better if you would say exactly what you need help with or whatever, so I can answer the question. It's just helpful. You just have to understand how many of these things I get. It's a lot. And so I don't want anybody to feel ignored, but there's no way I can just answer every little hello, if there's not a thing to answer. So that's that. All right, let's see. Where are we? Okay, well, no one's asked any other questions. So let's see. What else did I did the VR announcement. That's the direction we're going, so that's going to be happening. I am going to be doing many more live virtual reality broadcasts, sharing the technology, sharing our vision, and as it evolves. I'll be putting out a call to build my team. Well, I'm glad you're still there, Tammy and Charlotte. To build this team, to build a company, to build a new company with a whole new direction, a whole new set of people, everything. So that'll be happening soon, and I'd love to find those people in my tribe if possible. But I got to go where the knowledge is, and I'd certainly like to work locally here in LA if at all possible. Thank you, Paul. I'm glad you're still here. And Michelle, good. Absorb away. Everyone just keep absorbing. Just take a moment to absorb. So I think there's just this overall theme of, especially when I'm getting some of these questions from countries that aren't Western-minded, that they're still they see The Secret and they're thinking of the law of attraction as this magical thing that they've just heard about, and they want to do it right, and and so it's a complete reframe that I have to do every time to say, look, that's not really what it's about, and here's what's important, and here's how to make it work, as opposed to, what am I doing wrong? I've done this, I've made a vision board, blah, 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 blah. All of those things are great. Again, those tools are great as long as they're not becoming this perplexing, what am I doing wrong thing. A vision board should make you feel great every time you look at it. It should bring you into that feeling of, I have this now, this is what I'm, this. It can't have any of this longing sort of, oh, when's this going to happen? Or it'll be so great when/if this happens. If that's in you at all when you look at the vision board, don't just stop looking at it until you don't think that way anymore. Because all you're doing is perpetuating a vibration of, oh, one day, maybe, I don't know. And that's the problem with depending on all these techniques, because you can do all of these techniques, but if it doesn't change who you're being and what you're putting out there, your reality isn't going to change. And so trying to keep buying programs with more and more techniques and just doing the techniques like that's where the magic is the problem. It really shouldn't be so hard. It doesn't have to be, but so many people still believe that it does have to be challenging. That action in and of itself means hard work. It doesn't. Action is just the movement of energy in one way or the other, and you gotta keep it's always moving anyway. So let's just move it in the direction of creating what you want. Working with the universe to orchestrate the molecules, literally. The structure of your own personal universe happens starting in here, based on what you're putting out there and how you then interpret what comes back. And this is where, learning the quantum physics and the science piece can be interesting, but not mandatory. No, it's not just you, Charlotte. Everything's freezing because I got this freaking red, it's just not broadcasting. I don't know whether it's a Facebook thing, whether there's something going on with our internet here, but normally we have an extremely fast broadcast. So bummed because everything else, I like the way it looks. My titles are functioning properly. I've got the waterfall in the background. But clearly I've got a red, it's like it's not broadcasting. And yet somehow you guys seem to be seeing it. I don't know how that's happening. It's very disconcerting. Okay. All right. Well, I think you know what? I may just wrap it here. for now. Not getting new questions. And I think I've covered actually a lot here that's sort of an overall, if you can get that, if you can understand the overall concepts and bring them into your manifesting practice or whatever, things will be better. I just want everybody to relax about this. That's really the thing, no matter how bad your situation is, bad in quotes, because that is an interpretation. How hopeless things may seem, how desperate you may feel, you really are supported. But you have to allow that support in. And you have to believe that you're worthy of that support, that you're deserving of that support, that your vision is a noble and inspiring one, if only for you. How to make it easy. Well, Tammy, here's my question to you, and that I would ask anybody is, so what's hard about it? I mean, I know there's a million answers to that, but for you, what's hard? Because that's what we need to look at. What's the hard part for you? And then we can say, well, maybe we can simplify that. Or do you call it hard because you're doing it and it doesn't seem to be coming, therefore it is hard? Hello, Shane. So I know I have to wait forever to get a response because of this delay. And it could be the delay is even worse now because of this. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm, just want to know I'm still broadcasting, but clearly I must be. Everything else is working and I'm looking awesome. Okay, good. Because that's all I care about is looking awesome. That's really my goal in life. I know I said VR and voiceover and stuff, but I just want to look awesome. Not really. Okay. So again, folks, every Wednesday we do this right here, and this is basically, as soon as we make this switch to Boundless Living VR, I'll still be doing this. But all my other stuff will be handled by somebody else, which I've said a million trillion times. I know you're tired of hearing about it, but I'm going to keep talking about it because it is pretty much the biggest deal that's ever happened in my company in my 12 years, because it's a major change in direction. But this right here, this page, this broadcast is aside from bringing me in to speak somewhere, this is the way, excuse me, there's trucks, which you may be able to hear going by. This is the way that we'll interact in the law of attraction conversation, and the rest will be about virtual reality, which is a whole new thing. There will be, before I completely shut things off, obviously, with the law of attraction email lists and all that stuff, I will be sending a few notifications about here's what we're doing, here's where we're going, here's what we're interested in. If you're interested in that, being kept up to date on that, click here or fill out this form, whatever, and then you'll be able to be communicated with. But it's not like we've got this, bunch of products that we're going to be trying to sell at you. We're just getting started in the VR space. So this would be really, truly about you just saying, I'm interested. I'd like to be kept up to date. And as you move forward please let me know what you're doing. That kind of thing. So that's where we're going with that. So we're all very excited about that as well. All right, you guys, I'm going to start the theme. So now we can officially start to say farewell. You first. You guys say bye first. Don't really, because I can't wait for 45 seconds to a minute. I'm really going to be moseying on. But thank you all again for being a part of this and asking your questions and sending me questions. And I hope that you enjoy this, and I hope that you get value out of it, and I hope that you'll keep coming, and I hope that you'll share this with people and, all of that. Still interested in helping this community to grow. To get a bunch of powerful manifestors out there would be awesome. And I'd love to be a part of that group as well. And if you're interested in the other stuff that I'm going to be doing, that's fantastic too. I hope you'll come along for that ride. Don't forget, Friday at noon Pacific, the Bob Doyle Show, where we talk about just about everything except the law of attraction, including virtual reality and other fun stuff. It's the Bob Doyle Show. No, I have to stop, Terry. People stopped asking questions. So, what am I supposed to do? Make stuff up? Actually, I do that a lot anyway. All right, I'm out of here, my friends. Thank you for your patience with the weird broadcast thing. When I watch the replay, I'm gonna be like, because sometimes what I'll do is I do a local recording here, and if this is messed up, I'll just upload the actual one. We're being able to work on your patience. We are being able to work on our patience. I'm trying to make some sense of that. But anyway. All right, everyone. You